everyone, I'm finally back after being away from YouTube for a few weeks. It's been super busy, so I haven't uploaded in a little while. I found a dream that I can speak to. So recently I went to Iceland with my boyfriend Joel a few weeks ago in May. So we spent 4 nights and 4 days in Iceland. We flew in Wednesday morning and flew out Sunday morning. So it was pretty much 4 whole days in Iceland. So this video is just going to be like a rundown of everything we did in Iceland over those 4 days and like my suggestions, where to go eat, where to stay, what to see, what to do, all that sort of thing. I will try and like list everything as I go along in this video, but I will also put stuff up on the screen and I'll link everything below so that you'll be able to go down there and check everything out that I've mentioned. So hopefully this will help you plan your itinerary for Iceland. You can copy the exact same thing we did, or you can obviously take things out and put things in. So we arrived on Wednesday morning and we picked up a rental car. So I've just arrived in Iceland and picked up our car rental. There's Joel driving because I forgot my license like an idiot. Yay! So Joel's going to be driving the whole time, unfortunately. The rental company we used was called Blue Car Rental. I chose this company because I saw reviews online, people saying it was a really good company that they used, and it was a family-owned business, so that's what really attracted me to it. So we wanted to rent a car so that we had a lot of flexibility and a lot of freedom, so we could stop and go wherever we wanted. Anyway, we got the cheapest car. We got a Toyota Aygo, and the car was £140 for those 4 nights. We didn't get anything extra. We didn't get extra insurance or a GPS or Wi-Fi, anything like that. We just did the insurance that was already on there and everything was fine. Nothing happened. We didn't get charged extra after we dropped it off or anything like that. We also used our data on our phones because with our phone plan from the UK, we get to use it throughout Europe, so that was fine. And there was also like a little charger, like a USB port in the car, so we got to charge our phone the whole time. We didn't have to worry about the phone going flat and not knowing where we were going. And then also over those 4 days, we spent about £50 on fuel. And I think we drove about 600 to 700 kilometers in the whole time we were there. Anyway, let's get into the actual time that we spent in Iceland. I think we drove to Reykjavik and got there about 10 o'clock, 10:30. It was about a 40-minute drive from the airport. Pretty much just explored around Reykjavik. We just went around, looked at the shops, went down to the harbour, just sort of looked around. We didn't really do anything touristy. We didn't really go into museums or anything like that. We just sort of looked around and explored, which is what we usually do when we first arrive somewhere. We also saw the church. I don't actually know the name of it. So the Airbnb was just around the corner from the church, and we only just like walked past a few times and had a look at it, and it looked quite spectacular. So I would definitely suggest going up to it and actually looking at it. But because the weather was so miserable and rainy and just yuck, we just never really got the chance to go up there and like properly look at it. Before we went out and explored, we went to this little place called Reykjavik Roasters, which was close to our Airbnb, and we got a few little nibblies before we started our day. Is it good? I had a Danish pastry, which was absolutely delicious, and a really nice cappuccino. But what I would suggest doing is a puffin tour and or a whale watching tour. I think they're about 50 quid each, or maybe a little bit less if you do them in together. We didn't do this because, like I said, the weather was really miserable, like really cloudy, so we wouldn't have been able to see anything. It was really windy and a bit cold, so it just would have been horrible to be out at sea. And then for lunch we went to this ramen place, but I wouldn't suggest it because I really like ramen, and I've had a lot of ramen in my time and it just wasn't anything special. So just waiting for you to pick it up. What I would suggest though that we didn't do is this restaurant which was called Icelandic Street Food, and they did like unlimited soup in those big like cobs, so bread sort of cobs that they hollowed out and they put soup in it, and it's like unlimited refills. But there was only like 3 things on the menu, 2 different types of soup, I think like a fish soup and a lamb soup and then something else. So we didn't end up going there because Joel's quite fussy and he wasn't feeling that. But my friend Sophie went there and she said it was really good, so I definitely suggest that. Or we actually found this like food hall place near the harbour. It was just like a small little indoor food hall place that had a little like stalls. We ended up having just a beer there after lunch. Cheers!
How much is this one?
Huh?
How much is this one?
No idea. 1900.
So that's 13 quid.
Jesus. Try it. And then in the afternoon we checked into our Airbnb, had a little rest, and the Airbnb we stayed in was close to that church that I mentioned, and it was £130 per night. It was quite a good space, like it had a bedroom, a lounge, and like a lounge room and a kitchen and a bathroom. And then food again, because we didn't really do that much in Reykjavik, we went out for dinner and we had this really, really good fish and chips at a place called Reykjavik Fish Restaurant. But there's plenty of other places that I really wanted to try. There was this one place that was called Fish Company, I think, but they had a huge booking that booked out the whole restaurant. I think it must have been like a tour company. So I really wanted to go there because it had all these different dishes, like inspired from all parts of the world. We also went to Creperie, which I just remembered. We had some really nice crepes there. So day 2, we got up really early and we drove to a little town called Vik, and it was about a 2.5 hour drive. But along the way, we had a few stops where we wanted to see a few things. So the first thing we did was pick up breakfast from a bakery down the road from where we were staying. So me and Joel went to this local bakery called BRAUD because we've just woken up and it's about 8 o'clock because we're heading to Vik now. Vik, there's mine. And then they also put ham on them. Cheese on Joel's. And then I got this vanilla and nougat thing in there. So yummy! So mine's got ham and cheese already on there, or in there. Looks delicious, it tastes delicious as well. Quite oily, but nice oily. So the first stop was SKOGAFOSS waterfall. I think that was about 2 hours from Reykjavik. Literally can't see anything, it's like we've gone into that movie, The Fog. We can barely see the person in front of us either. That's probably a local speeding past. So we climbed up to the top of the waterfall and saw the view, and then also what I do really suggest is getting as close as possible to the actual waterfall in a safe way. It's just really cool feeling the force of like the waterfall and the spray. It's just like a really cool, relaxing experience. Okay, and then the second stop was Vik Church. So when you come into Vik, there's like a church on the top of the hill, and you can get quite a good view of Vik, the little town itself, and the Black Beach from up there. When we went, it was really cloudy, so you couldn't really see much, but it was still nice to see. And then the third stop was the Black Beach, which you can still visit while you're in Vik. You just have to drive down to where the beaches, and I thought it was absolutely amazing. It was like being on another planet. Really, really cloudy, so just like the contrast of the black sand with the like gloomy, moody clouds, it just looked so cool. I thought it was really amazing. Oh my god, that came out of nowhere. Yeah, we're at Black Beach. What did you
Get off my shoes, man.
Oh my god.
Just wanted them. I was doing so well.
It's just sand, it's just granules. So it's fine. So what? Oh my god. So that's probably one of my favourite things I saw in Iceland. Joel wasn't that impressed by it, but I just don't get why. But you know, it's not for everyone, but I was really impressed by it, so I definitely suggest it. And then our fourth stop was lunch. We went to this really nice burger and beer place. I think it was like a microbrewery, and had the best burgers ever. I had like a blue cheeseburger. We had these chips that were almost like crisps, or potato chips if you're Australian. They looked like potato chips or crisps, but they were actual like fried. They were so crispy and so nice. And then our fifth stop of the day was our horse riding tour. We originally had actually booked a 3-hour glacier horse riding tour starting at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It was £125 each. But when we got there, we actually got there an hour early, and we were a bit like, do we really want to do that when the weather's a bit like on and off? Like it was very like raining sideways sometimes, really windy and then cloudy. And so when we got there, they were actually like, you can go now if you want because you're the only ones in the tour, and you can change it to whatever you want. So there was like a 1-hour one, and then a 2-hour one, and then ours was the 3-hour one. So we ended up just doing the 1-hour one, and I think it was 50 quid each. So I had a really good time because I haven't ridden a horse in about 10 years, and I used to ride horses when I was younger, so I just thought it was really great being able to get back on a horse and just like knowing what to do. It just felt really cool. So we just sort of went through the fields and across like a stream, and then the ending was like the nice waterfall. And then on the way back it started to literally rain sideways. Like they give you waterproof gear, but I was still getting drenched. So I was kind of glad at the end that we had only booked a 1 hour one, because towards the end I was like, okay, I'm really wet and drenched now, this is horrible. There's also tons of different horse riding places everywhere over Iceland. I just picked this one because I saw someone talking about it online, and I was like, yeah, I'll pick that one. And where the horse ranch is also like a really nice hotel where you can stay, and like a restaurant and everything, but we didn't stay there because it was really expensive. I think it was about 250 pounds a night or something. So that's everything we did on day 2 in Iceland, but I have a few different suggestions which we didn't have time for. So between the waterfall and going to Vik, there's actually the plane wreck which you can visit. It's just like this plane wreck on black sand, and it's just like really open and sparse, and I think it just looks really cool, like the contrast of the plane and the black sand. It's an hour walk from where the car park is to the plane wreck, so it's 2 hours round trip. I think there's a shuttle bus that goes to the plane wreck, but I'm not sure on how often it runs. So also between the waterfall and Vik, you can go and see the lighthouse. So the lighthouse is on a cliff. So from what I saw online, it looked really, really cool. Like it'd be a really nice view. You'd be able to see the black beach, you'd be able to see like the rock formations of the cliff, Vik. We didn't go and see this because it was really cloudy, so we would have got up there and I think we wouldn't have been able to see very much. I think you should definitely go and have a look at that because the views would be spectacular. And then also the last thing I'll mention is in Hella, where we actually end up staying that night. There's buggy tours, so it's like a tour company that goes around on those big buggies through like Iceland. We didn't get a chance to do them, but it looks like it'd be lots of fun. For like South Iceland, I feel like you probably could stay 2 nights because there is lots to do around there, or you can just sort of pick and choose what you want to do, what's more important to you. If you don't want to go horse riding, you definitely have enough time to do everything else. And then for accommodation, we drove back towards Hella. Like I mentioned before, it was about 40 minutes from the horse riding, and we stayed in a place called STRACTA Hotel. We've just arrived in our room, and it's a really nice big room. So as you come in the front door, nice blue chair, and a nice big bed. I love these lampshades. It was a really, really nice hotel, really nice modern room, big bathroom, big room. They had like a restaurant as well. It's nice, isn't it? I ended up getting the Icelandic fish stew, like the traditional Icelandic fish stew. It was really nice, but I wasn't hungry at all. Like we had such a big lunch when I was eating it, I wasn't really like bothered by it, but Joel was really hungry, so we had to eat dinner. And then after dinner, they had hot tubs and saunas. So we got in the hot tub and we had a nice relaxing time in the hot tub as well.